You must increase the hunger level, the desperation level, and you must get more focused.
Gases from exploding stars and the natural attraction of dark matter create cloud dust. That cloud dust forms what we call the nebulae, often seen as red and blue gases. When these gases interact with each other, they attract matter such as rocks and planets. Their gravitational effects pull these materials into the nebula, and over time the natural forces at work create a star, and this is how a star is born. Now, of course, I am trying to condense a much larger story into a shorter story, but this is the gist of how it works on the surface. These cloud dusts are a nursery for stars and suns. Now, from this point, the nebula forms into a sun. It forms a sun, and the sun burns hydrogen to helium. Then the sun will transform eventually into a white dwarf once it has gone through all of its sources. Our sun right now is our star of the solar system, and even the song Star of Wonder, which refers to Jesus, is actually the sun, which Jesus is largely referred to in the Bible, which I have obviously done other videos on. It is the source of light. Now, as you see, the depiction of Jesus in the manger, dressed in white, contrasts with Mary dressed in red and blue, which symbolizes the process from the nebula that creates the sun, which is Jesus, Mary to Jesus. You see it in artwork. Now, the intersection of these nebulae creates hydrogen, and again it's represented in the colours red and blue. Artwork going back centuries all contain these colours. The white star, the white in the red and the blue, is the white star, and it represents the future sun, just like it does with Jesus in the manger. And this symbolises the transformation from the nebula Mary, red and blue, to the sun, Jesus, in the manger, and eventually to the white dwarf. The story of Jesus is portrayed as the Son of God sacrificing himself, and it is the natural process of planets. The nebula, as you see here, is where the Star of David originates from. This is where it comes from source. And the Jesus cross from source, the deepest level of creation, is the forming of the sun from the nebula, from the Star of David to Jesus. And that's how you get the story from David to Jesus. It is the process of the universe and creation. And now we adapt different meanings to it, like Jesus in the Bible. But at the core source, this is where it comes from. The nebula serves as an inner core of the sun, and this is why the colours are always red, blue and white. And then you get the rest of the colours from it. The narrative of baby Jesus reflects the sun being born from the nebula, Mary. And the three wise men represent Orion's belt, following the white dwarf star. They bring gifts because the baby, Jesus, I am, is destined to become Christ. Meaning the journey from creation all the way down the levels, and even the story of us, I am, through the brain and through the spinal cord and through all the process of the brain, through electromagnetic energy from the sun. This transformation embodies not only the shift from the nebula to the sun, but also the sun to a white dwarf, which is the natural process of stars. These concepts resonate through various subjects, including religion, science, spirituality, astrology. Even during Christmas, we see the star at the top of a tree, which again shows you the nebula. The cross has numerous meanings, and as does the Star of David, but from source it is the universe. It is from the very nature of creation itself, not religion. It was around years before religion. Let's get that straight. These symbols existed way before the religions they were apparently in, so that in itself, but it comes from source. Now this theme extends across all aspects of life, including daily occurrences. Here we have the flags. They're in all the flags. They're in all the artwork, all featuring red and blue. This also goes to badges and brands. It is to also show the intersection of two halves, like the yin and the yang. And as you see here, it is used in brands, sports, all types of corporations and industries. And this connection to the nebula is where it stems from. It indicates that truth is always present in our lives. This is why they say that God made us in his image in the Bible, and God is all. Because from the very top creation, how it works, comes all the way down. As you see the star being born, it's a cross in itself. This is literally where we get north, east, south, west. The four seasons. That's why we have 4 parts of the brain. 4 heart valves. We have 4 limbs. That's why the Vitruvian Man is still relevant today, because it is, the cross is relevant in every layer going down, from planets, the creation, to the sun, the moon, which is a cross in itself, the summer and winter equinox, which is a cross in itself, all the way to the atom, to our brains. We actually have the cross in our brain, and it's the process of the cerebral fluid. Now we are approaching the Kali Yuga end, and this is a huge cycle, and one of the biggest things we have to adjust to is truth on a deeper level. And this, what I'm telling you, permeates through all subjects. TV shows, quiz shows, films, everything. From Stranger Things to The Matrix to family films to programs. It is all symbolic of the brain and the planets. It is the original form of creation itself. That is why the coding of creation is in everything, because it is the cross. It stems on all levels. That is what Jesus is. It is the journey from creation itself all the way down to us and how it works, that journey. And for us, it's the brain. All religion is largely based on planets and the effects on our minds. The Egyptians knew all about the brain and the effect on our minds. Their whole mythology is based on parts of the brain, which I will do another episode over. Even religious stories like Jonah and the whale, as you see here, it is the story of the Sylvius, the lateral brain. You can clearly see it, and it's the journey between that swallowing you up and taking you to a destination. It's all based on the brain, all of it. all the symbolism, Moses, Jesus, all of it has meaning throughout, and people today take it quite literally. They all have their own meanings. We all have layers of meanings between it. They contain the coding of creation, so they have many meanings, but I'm taking you to source where it actually comes from. And this red and blue, it goes through everything. We have cartoon characters, Spider-Man, Superman, outfits the royals used to wear for hundreds of years. These families, in power, these royals, they are not royal divine blood. They know the truths. And that's what makes them royal blood, because the energy and the frequency that you receive from the higher realms when you know a greater truth automatically creates a divinity within you. That's why they're royal. And they clearly know a lot more than we do on the brain, the neurons, symbolism, planets, because not only is it in every film, cartoons, brands, logos, the cars we drive, flags, the artwork for centuries, it's in front of us daily. The truth is in front of us daily, and we miss it. And people would rather take things like the Bible, which is completely symbolic, and take it quite literally. There is a truth and an understanding on all levels that we miss daily, and I'm going to start pointing them out for you bit by bit.